Good morning. This weekend someone mentioned Gorgias in a book club, and so I'm jumping to Plato's Gorgias, day 1. I did, by the way, read Plato the days that I didn't post anything, but I read only part of Plato's Republic and in different languages, so I thought it would be a bit confusing to record. Callicles. This is how they say you should take part in warfare and battle, Socrates. Socrates. What? Have we arrived at the latter end of the feast, as the saying goes? Yes, and a very charming feast, for Gorgias has just given us a fine and varied display. Well, Cipheron here is to blame, Callicles, for he compelled us to loiter in the marketplace. "'Tis no matter, Socrates," this Pharaoh speaking, "for I can supply the remedy too. Gorgias is a friend of mine and will treat us to another display, now if you want, or if not, later." Callicles. What, Cipheron? Is Socrates anxious to hear Gorgias? That is the very reason why we are here. Cipheron said that. Callicles. It's difficult if it's more than 2 people. Then I do feel compelled to read the names. Or do voices. Callicles. At any time you like to come home with me then, for Gorgias is staying with me and will give you an exhibition. Socrates. Most kind of you, Callicles, but would he also be willing to converse with us? I want to learn from him what is the scope of his art, and just what he professes and teaches. He's a rhetorician. He teaches rhetoric, I think. As for the exhibition, let him give us that, as you suggest, on some other occasion. Callicles. There's nothing like asking him, Socrates, for that was one feature of his display. He bade any one of the company present just now ask any question he pleased, and said he would answer all such questions. Socrates. Splendid, Chaerephon. Ask him. Chaerephon. Ask him what? Socrates. Who he is. Know thyself. Cipheron. What do you mean? Socrates. Well, supposing he were a maker of shoes, he would surely answer you that he was a cobbler. You see what I mean, do you not? I see, and I will ask him. Tell me, Gorgias, is Callicles right in saying that you profess to answer any question you are asked? Okay, Gorgias is here all of a sudden. I thought they still had to go to someone's home. He is right, Gorgias says. Cipheron, Gorgias speaks. He is right, Cipheron. That is the very statement I made just now, and I assure you that nobody has asked me a new question these many years. Whatever was will be again. Cipheron. You must indeed be ready with your answers, Gorgias. You are at liberty to make the experiment, Cipheron. Polus, a new person. Yes, indeed, and upon me, if you wish, Cipheron, for Gorgias, I think, is played out. He has already spoken at great length, so I assume Polus is something of a apprehensus to Gorgias. Seraphon: why, Polus, do you think you could answer better than Gorgias? Polus: what does that matter if it is well enough for you? Ooh. Seraphon: not at all, but since you want to, you may answer. Polus: proceed. Seraphon: I will. If Gorgias were an expert in the same art as his brother Herodicus, what should we rightly call him? By the same professional name as his brother? Assuredly. Then we should be correct in calling him a doctor. Yes. And if he were skilled in the same art as Aristophon, son of Aglaphon, or Aristophanes' brother, what would he rightly be called? Obviously a painter. But, as it is, in what craft is he expert, and by what name should we correctly call him? There are many arts, Seraphon, probably they use the word techne. It's not the way we see arts, it's more technical skills. Among mankind, experimentally devised by experience. For experience guides our life along the path of art, inexperience along the path of chance. So when you have experience, you go about life skillfully. When you don't have experience, you just let the winds blow you wherever it will, something like that. And in each of these different arts, different men partake in different ways. The best men following the best arts. And Gorgias here is one of the best and partakes in the noblest of arts. I don't see those little feathers in real life. Socrates speaks. It is plain, Gorgias, that Polus is well equipped to make speeches, but he fails to accomplish what he promised to Cypheron. Pray, how is that, Socrates? Gorgias asked. It seems that he does not quite answer the question asked. Well, if you prefer it, you may ask him yourself. Note, not ask me. Socrates: no, not if you are ready to answer instead. I would much rather question you, for it is obvious from what Polus has said that he is much better versed in what is called rhetoric than in dialogue. That would be interesting to know exactly what this distinction is that Socrates is making. How is that, Socrates? Polus asked. Why, Polus? Because when Seraphon asked in what art Gorgias is proficient, you praised his art as though someone were attacking it, but neglected to answer what it is. So maybe rhetoric is more and the attacking love of victory instead of love of wisdom. More attacking than searching together. Polus: did I not answer that it was the noblest of arts? Yeah. What's your name? My name is Beautiful. Socrates: certainly, but no one is asking in what kind of art Gorgias engaged, but what it actually is, and what we should call Gorgias. On the lines laid down before by Seraphon, when you answered correctly and briefly, tell us now in similar manner what this art is and what name we must give to Gorgias. Or rather, Gorgias, Tell us yourself in what art you are expert and what we should call you. Gorgias. The art of rhetoric, Socrates. Then we must call you a rhetorician. Rhetorician. Yes, and a good one, Socrates, if you really want to call me what, in Homer's expression, I boast myself to be. That is what I want. Then call me so. Are we to say that you can make rhetoricians of others also? That is the profession I make both here and elsewhere. Would you be willing, Gorgias, to continue our present method of conversing, by question and answer, postponing to some other occasion lengthy discourses of the type begun by Polus? You must not, however, disappoint us in your promise, but show yourself ready to answer the question briefly. There are certain answers, Socrates, that must necessarily be given at length. However, that does sound familiar. I will attempt to answer as briefly as possible, for that too is one of the claims I make, that nobody could give the same answers more briefly than I. That is what I want, Gorgias. Give me an exhibition of this brevity of yours, and reserve a lengthy discourse for another time. I read in the introduction that this is actually one of the dialogues where Socrates himself goes in a rather lengthy monologue. I don't know, but I can't remember. But it's an interesting thing to note. Gorgias. I will do so, and you will admit you have never heard a speaker more concise. Well then, you claim that you are an expert in the art of rhetoric, and that you can make rhetorician of others. Now, just what is the scope of rhetoric? Weaving, for example, has to do with the making of garments. You agree? Yes. And music with composing melodies? Yes. By hero Gorgias, I marvel at your answers. They could not be briefer. Oh, that's funny. Yes, I think I succeed pretty well, Socrates. Good. And now answer in the same way about rhetoric. What is the field of this science? Words. Oh, I should look up what word he uses for words. Of what kind, Gorgias? Those that reveal to the sick what treatment will restore their health? No. Another great brief answer. Then rhetoric is not concerned with every kind of words. Certainly not. Yet it makes men able to speak. Yes. And able to think also about the matter of their discourse. Of course. How does not the science of medicine, which we have just mentioned, make men able to think and to speak about their patients? Now, does not science of medicine, which we have just mentioned, make men able to think and speak about their patients? Assuredly. Then medicine also, it seems, is concerned with words. Yes. Words about diseases? Certainly. And is not gymnastic concerned with words that relate to good or bad bodily conditions? Undoubtedly. And so it is with the other arts also, Gorgias. Each of them is concerned with words that have to do with its own subject matter. Evidently. Then, as the other arts have to do with words, why do you not call them by the name rhetoric, since you call rhetoric any art that is concerned with words? Because all the knowledge of the other arts is in general, Socrates, concerned with manual crafts and similar activities, whereas rhetoric deals with no such manual product, but all its activity and all that it accomplishes is through the medium of words. Therefore, I claim that the art of rhetoric has to do with words, and maintain that my claim is correct. I do love words. Tot sover ons skriflesing. Have a beautiful day.